Hi everybody, I'm back. Today I need to talk about something that I haven't spoken publicly about before. Negative entity attachment and removal. For those of us who have accepted the high calling of being a light worker and have been working in that for many years, we are already aware that particularly when that Kundalini energy is awakened, we are subject to come under greater attack. As you also know, I'm in transition, moving back to what I call Atlantis, to do major and important work here in busting up bogus HIV worldwide. I have dedicated my everyday to that for years. Again, my Kundalini awakened in 1998. It is said that when that energy is awakened, you can be seen from deep space. For many years, I have been members of spiritual groups. It began with IsisWisdom.com and Starseeds.net, the Extraterrestrials.com, Lightworker.Grid.Ning. All of those were Ning networks when we were being prepared during those years. I think we pretty much learned as much as we could there, and it was then that I decided that it was time to come to Facebook. Energetic Synthesis with Lisa Renee, AscensionHelp.com, Doreen Virtue, all these people who have prepared us for what is happening right now in this age of truth, the return of the divine feminine in the consciousness of humanity. Again, my dissertation was about that. My books are about that. And I have done all that I could to educate you about this period of transition and ascension that we are in, and helping guide you through the illness portions of that, how we create our own illnesses and how we can also self-heal them. Well, at the worst possible time, during my move, which is uprooting my home in boxes and transporting them to this city, every step of the way of that was difficult, or is difficult. I'm currently now staying with some relatives, waiting on this house situation to work itself out. However, I know from past experience that there was someone who I felt I was trying to help. I learned later was scamming me. And because I'm a Cancer, because I'm from the darker nature of the Cometan Pantheon, Neptuhet being my cosmic mother, I went into revenge mode, as an anger mode, rage mode. And what manifested was a swelling in the letting go area of the body, which is the anus. And it got so bad that I was immobilized. I could hardly lie down, sit up, stand, walk. I ended up going to a proctologist, who told me that it was hidradenitis suppurativa, which he said was an acute case, like a pimple in that area, essentially. But he prescribed an antibiotic. It went away. But I had to work with myself on forgiveness. Forgiveness. I can't tell you how important that is right now. We have got to open up that chakra, heart chakra gateway portal. We have got to stay ever reminding of ourselves that we are divine beings. We are gods on this planet, and as such, we are going to come under attack by beings and people who may not even realize that they're being used to create a negative energy type situation, to cause conflict, to cause us to engage in negative thinking, negative behaviors, arguments, fights, debates, and those entities that are unseen, some call ankle biters, will feed off of that energy. That being said, that happened over a year ago. You'd think I would have remembered that. You constantly hear me talk about recovering my penis. I can't for the life of me understand how to live the rest of my life stigmatized with this bogus disease that doesn't even exist. And being without love and relationship and touch and intimacy, hugging and all those things that we think that we need, that I long for, that everybody longs for. And when you engage in self-pity, is what it is, for a prolonged period of time, you are signaling to these entities that you have become disempowered. You're aware of Davita Rose. She had to take back her power from domestic violence even. Something that we want to get revenge. We want the person to suffer who caused our suffering. Not remembering that part of us invited that situation so that we can learn to grow ourselves spiritually. We invited every situation. And under the principle of all is one in the root chakra, I have posted those over and over. I have taught it. I have showed that body tracing so many times, talk about those principles. And I really do try to live by them. And we can't ascend to higher levels of awareness and remain there if we are allowing our own thoughts to drag us back down lower into the lower spheres of awareness. Getting depressed, perseverating on past hurts, trying to figure it out, make sense of it all, whether it's our family member or friend, whatever. We have got to let go. It's so easier said than done, or maybe it's really easy if you just get in that frame of mind and that right consciousness. I woke up today in pain. I spent all day Saturday in a hospital, and then all day Tuesday in a different hospital here in Atlanta. You know, the first people couldn't tell me what the problem was. That's why we have to be so careful when we consult a person in a white coat to understand what's going on in our body. We have to know who we are. We have to know why our illnesses are happening. We have to read this body symbolically. Every organ serves spiritual, symbolic significance. The anus is the letting go point, where the body has assimilated what it needs and it is ready to release. Well, these negative entities attach themselves to me right there, making urination difficult, making doing number 2 difficult. Sitting, lying, walking, standing becomes a major challenge. And the pain is so excruciating that you just don't think you can go on. Just last night, I was like, I just can't do it. I've done everything I'm supposed to do. I've done this, I've done that. Not from an ego perspective, but from an action-oriented evidence. I can prove the things I've done. I have let go of every addiction except for the cigarette smoking. In a sense, for me, they were like my only friends through a lot of trouble. A lot of us have a relationship to our addictions in that way. And knowing that it's self-correction time, I'm not even saying whether cigarette smoking is correct or not. I had a guru once who smoked cigarettes. He said it grounded his energy. He was the guy that awakened Kundalini, but mine was already awakened. But he smoked cigarettes, Winston's. It was a white guy. But anyway, what I wanted to say there is that though I decided to Google and remind myself about negative entity attachment removal. I've posted with you all about the Maharic seal. I've posted about various techniques for protecting your energy field and protecting your melanin. Because since that eclipse, these portals opened up and the parasitic entities are everywhere. Some are right around you, right above you. Every time you take a step forward in spiritual growth, they are going to impulse some sort of negative thought form to you to get you in your old ways of being and thinking, and they can attach at that moment. I told you also that a Nigerian goddess who's living in London over a year ago in the private chat, she said, "Have you stopped eating red meat?" And I said, no. I changed my diet habits to eat less of this or that. But you have those days with certain, tastes you remember from comfort of traditions and days gone by, and then you go and make decisions that you know could potentially damage you, particularly through this transition period. And in the red meat in particular, those entities lodge themselves. And then you go and eat it. And next thing you know, you got a lump here or there somewhere. I look mine up. I look up the spiritual symbolism. I've taught you all that I always give thanks immediately for all of my illnesses, because I know that I'm inviting a spiritual lesson to be learned by me, to remind me of my divine self. Well, all that seemed to go out the door, and I ended up going to these hospitals, running up bills that will take years to pay off. Speaking to people who have known nothing of spirituality, who know nothing of negative entity attachment and removal, who only want to see the physical and treat it with surgery or antibiotics or some other drug. I've said also that as gods, we cannot be sick, not when we are living in an awareness. So what I'm having to do right here, right now, is to remind myself of that power within. And through the article that I woke up and read from ascensionhelp.com, talked about negative attachment removal. It talked about the expansion of the heart chakra, expanding the energy coming through that heart, and first of all, connecting yourself to the earth's core, anchoring yourself there, and then up above the head into galactic center. Once that is done, then we can, in the realization of our divine power and our divine self, we can send from the heart to these parasites that in a sense we have invited by lowering our own vibration to our own thinking. Send love to them, send forgiveness to them, call on the galactic helpers to arrest those entities and have them never return. With the added responsibility of knowing we need to remain in God consciousness, God's self-consciousness. I hope the way I'm explaining it is making it clear to you. You are probably going through something similar. It may not be to the degree that I am. Maybe your level of interest in doing light work or light grid work, may be different from mine. You may be a different type of entity here on the planet at this time. But I obviously chose this role as a Sirius Star C, Indigo Tech 3, and all that. That's not ego stuff. That is a commitment on a soul level to participate in Earth Ascension prior to even incarnating here. Many of you know yourselves to be that. I want to encourage you to continue when you get down like I did for these past 2 days, going in and out of these hospitals. As a conscious doctor, I feel I already know in the end everything I knew before I even went there. But the pain was so bad I wanted immediate relief. And all the creams, all the pills that I bought, because I don't have health insurance, none of it worked, not even a little. So I was right back to where I already was, which is knowing what was really going on. I know you want to be one who knows what's really going on, be in the know, and then being able to take your power back, heal yourself, heal this planet, and ascend back to Godhood. Okay? Please stay focused on that. I am now doing a root chakra sound vibration. These are available on YouTube. In meditation, I'll be doing that technique I spoke to you about expanding the heart chakra, connecting to the earth core and the galactic center. Arresting these negative entities, sending them on their way, thanking them for what they reminded me about myself, taking back my power. So I hope this is inspiration to you. A lot of times when we go through trouble, we keep it to ourselves because we want to present ourselves to the world in a certain kind of way. Well, hey, let's just keep it real. I want you to see my site again down there, ConsciousDoctor.com. I even need to stop watching some of my own presentations or talking to people about it, because even in doing that, I am reliving the past, reminding myself of old traumas. So everybody is called to this higher level through this period. Everybody, all of us. I'm going to be one to transcend. I decided that tonight, rather than figure out a way to take myself out. Because the pain was so bad, I can't see myself living like that every day. I just couldn't do it. So I love you all from all this one heart centered awareness. I want to also add, some of our master teachers, and I won't name them here, but those of you in the know who some of them are. We can become ego-inflated being melanin beings on this planet and begin to think ourselves above others. But that breaks us out of heart, root chakra, all this one principle, awareness. You know, it's one thing to be aware. It is another to perseverate on an issue and allow it to lower your own vibration without you realizing it. Next thing you know, you've got some illness, you know, a stroke, a heart disease, or an anal problem like I'm going through right now. We have got to stay focused on heart chakra, forgiveness, compassion, and love. We can still be divinely angry, but we need to turn rage into radiance. Rage into radiance. Okay? Thank you so much. I am Dr. Damien Q. Laster, the Rainbow Warrior, Conscious Doctor, Metaphysical Science, coming to you tonight, or this morning, wishing you an amazing day, and strategizing of returning to Godhood. I love you. Goodbye.